The board is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Lines as of Friday's taping, week 3 in the NFL. The first matchup, we start with your guy.
Who's my guy?
Deshaun Watson, our first game. The Browns are -3.5 at home against Mike Vrabel's Titans.
And I don't like the Browns. I love them.
Oh, Mike.
First of all, ask yourself.
Not like this.
Ask yourself, why are they 3.5-point favorites after what you saw? Well, here's the reason. Their defense. If we look from an analytics standpoint, the Browns' defense is better than the Cowboys. Now, I'm not telling you that things like DVOA and analytics are straight translation.
Especially through 2 weeks.
But what I'm making a point of is, Kenny Pickett, the Steelers they didn't beat him. Deshaun Watson throws a pick 6 on the first game on a tip ball, and then Deshaun Watson was Jonah Hill on the phone in Wolf of Wall Street. Get off the phone with the most
Quaaludes.
Yeah, he was on the lemons, and
he sacked 6 times,
and the fumble late for a touchdown.
Yeah,
the Browns' defense is unholy. I told you I love their D. Jim Schwartz has been hyper aggressive. Their front against this Titans team, that O-line, biggest mismatch maybe of the week.
Sure.
The secondary. Now let's go to the other side of this. Clearly, offensively, Houston, we have a problem. No Nick Chubb. All right, well, how do we navigate this?
They still have a good O-line. They'll run it.
Good O-line. You got Kareem Hunt back. You got Jerome Ford. I'm not telling you it'll be a work of art, but this is a play against the Titans as much as it's a play of the Browns. And this is a play about the Browns' defense being by far and away the singular best unit on the field. I am going to bet the Browns.
Just had the light bulb go off because I don't want to bet the Browns. I'm not laying 3.5 with Deshaun Watson. I want to bet the Titans. And I've wanted to bet the Titans for the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I've talked myself out of it. And Vrabel's 2-0 this season against the spread.
And he's not going to go 3-0.
Well, he won't if I bet him. So what I want to do
is bet the Browns.
No. Bet the under. Both defenses are the calling card. Both quarterbacks got sacked north of 5 times last week. Titans stopped the run. That's the one thing I know they'll do. They'll stop the run, especially without Chubb. These two quarterbacks are going to play some high-scoring affair?
No.
Totals 39.5. So grit your teeth. Join me on the under. This is a live pivot. I had Titans on the sheet. I'm going to go live under on this.
If I end up betting both the side and a total in Browns-Titans, I should be banned.
I don't think you should be betting a side. I mean, and if you are, here's your Vrabel stat. There's always a Vrabel stat.
I know.
7-2-1 against the spread on the road since the start of last season. We know him as a dog. We know what he does on the road. This is both spots against a quarterback who's all discombobulated.
Right, here's the deal.
And you're getting north of a key number.
I'm telling our audience, don't do what I'm doing. You have no right to complain to me if this goes sideways. America, Earth is on the Titans. They are this rat American dog. I don't like being on the underdogs that people like. I know what I watched. As long as Deshaun Watson pulls his head out of his ass and this defense does what I think they can do, I'm going to lay to 3.5. It's disgusting. But nobody wants to bet the Browns. I am a man of strife. I stick to my principles. I'm betting the Browns. Jim, you're betting the Browns in the under.
No. I'm just betting the under.
Just seeing if I could sneak that by. All right, I am going to bet the Browns.
Your Browns thing, it's not like this, but good for you. You've got your convictions.
Well, I think it's rooted in, listen, their defense is unbelievable.
And I agree with you. The Schwartz thing is a thing, and they do have a defensive line. Myles Garrett's the dude. All right, next matchup.
Yeah, what do we got?
2-0-2 football teams.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Vikings -1.5. This is switched, flip-flop, cross the bridge. Vikings -1.5, hosting the Chargers.
First things first. Can we acknowledge 2 truths about the Chargers? That Brandon Staley is the ultimate grifter. Should have been fired in the offseason after the Jacksonville collapse. Should have been fired after they played Mike Williams in a meaningless game. Brandon Staley, I'm a defensive genius.
Oops.
What? That week 1 performance against Miami, even last week. What?
Do you realize last week, Herbert throws for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. The defense sacks Tannehill 5 times. Derrick Henry doesn't break 100 rushing yards, and they lose.
Yeah.
That's how. And the answer is chargering, the verb. Mike, you can't bet this game.
Get bolted.
You can't.
No, I know. And here's the other problem. All week I was on Minnesota. You saw the working document all week.
We monitor.
So here's my problem. The Vikings, this is the Spider-Man meme. The Vikings are the Chargers are the Vikings. I'm looking at you going, hey, you're looking at me going, ee. And in the end, what the fuck are we betting?
Well, you bet the home team.
No.
You bet the team that at least in recent memory has pulled off a couple close games. Wasn't that long ago.
But the Vikings are also paying karma tax.
I know, but they paid the karma tax the first 2 weeks.
And honestly, my point to you is, what's the advantage in this game? Is there an advantage in the number?
Now that it's moved, not as much. But there's an advantage X's and O's.
How?
Chargers have given up the most passing yards in the NFL through 2 weeks. I got an Arena League team on the other side. Cousins slinging it. I think that's X's and O's matchup edge.
Well, you just said, okay, so that's your edge.
Yeah.
And you want to play against a guy in Herbert who's playing perfect football.
I know the total's the highest on the board. It's like 53 points.
So what I'm saying to you is,
shootout.
But that's the point. This is basically who gets the ball last. There's no advantage.
But we know in the close games what the Chargers have done this year, last year, every year when the sun comes up and sets.
New year, new Vikings. Skull. They're not winning their close games.
So
I did a control 12 set. What was it on the episode during college?
Shift Alt 5 strike through.
This is the Shift Alt 5 game of the week. I had Vikings. I'm out. I'm not betting this. I am betting this, but I will Shift Alt 5.
I'll give you a stat.
Shift Alt 5.
They will reference this a dozen times on the broadcast. 0-2 teams. If you start 0-3, do you know it? Since 2002,
you don't make the playoffs.
99 teams have started 0-3.
Oh boy.
1 made the playoffs.
Shift Alt 5.
So hold on, but let me ask it this way. Are both these teams not making the playoffs?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Here's my question.
This may help people at home, because if they think the Chargers are a playoff team, maybe that tips the scale. You go, there's no way they're starting 0-3 if they're a playoff team, and you take them.
I think whoever loses, here are your two scenarios. Chargers lose, Staley's getting fired. Vikings lose, the hottest rumor of the week is going to be Kirk Cousins to the Jets. Shift Alt 5.
All right, I'll play the Vikings.
Would you make that trade if you're the Jets?
Yes.
Rare. This is an ultra rare thing of the QB getting dealt. You cannot win with Zach Wilson. Kirk Cousins has been very good. Now, the problem is he's going to go from one team who can't protect him to another, but the weapons are there. Whoever loses this game, somebody is dining on a professional bullet. Agree?
Yes.
Shift Alt 5. I want no part of it.
Can't start 0-3. You mentioned the Jets. They're in the next matchup. Patriots -2.5 in New Jersey. MetLife. Zach Wilson, you brought him up. I've got stats for you, Mike. None of them are good.
Evan, get ready to vomit all over your nuts.
If you're a Jets fan, you know these, but maybe you need to look away, turn away. Zach Wilson against Belichick. Passer rating of 50, 2 touchdowns, 7 picks in 4 games.
Oh, my God.
Wilson, 7 of his last 8 starts have gone under, and he's 0-4 outright and against the spread in his last 4 starts. He's bad. This is a bad matchup. I only got to give up 2.5. I'll do it. Patriots are 0-2, but they've played good teams. Man, it's a Pats play.
Can I just warn you about one thing? The weather for this game is supposed to be a complete disaster. I'm trying to help you.
Right, but the Patriots are winning, right? And I'm not giving up a field goal.
I understand.
And Zach Wilson's going to give me a defensive touchdown.
All right, Evan, here's your problem, my brother. I am approaching today's episode with humility. I'm showing up and saying I had a bad week. Mea culpa. This man is showing up with his leg lamp. He got a major award. Listen, first of all, congratulations. We should have started the episode.
We don't have to do that.
You know what? No, I don't give a shit. It's our podcast. Do whatever I want. For those of you that are local, you will know what I'm talking about. And those of you who are not, but you happen to enjoy Jim's work, yesterday the announcement was made. You will be moving in, February of the new year, conclusion of football season. You will be doing AM Drive here at 97.1 in Detroit. Why does that matter? Well, for some people it won't. But it matters because this is, in my mind, I think the best sports station in America. So to earn a day part, you know the respect I have for this man to my left. You understand I am fond of him, even when he turns into a prick. But what I will say is you're hopped up today. You got a glow about you.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
You got a glow. You got to glow. It's like sometimes, oh my God, Donna's glowing. She got engaged. You're Donna. You're glowing today. But here's the problem. You're carrying it over to your picks. Pull up the weather for Patriots Jets. Brother, do you really want to get in the business here of going on the road with a Pats team? Hate to break it to you, they're terrible. Hell,
I don't know that they're terrible.
Boston radio talking about Belichick should be fired. I'm telling you, go listen to the Sports Hub.
They're 0-2. Who'd they play?
Dolphins and
Eagles. In both games.
Okay.
We talked preseason.
Oh, God.
The offense is going to be a little better with a real OC. Mm-hmm. They can run the ball. They will play defense.
Can they?
They're going to get to the quarterback.
They didn't do it when I needed them most last week. I'm staying away.
That big offensive lineman got that first down. I'll take it to my grave.
You and me both, because you know what I needed there. And we'll just leave it alone. All right, buddy.
Rain in the forecast.
You're having
85% chance
it's
of
going to
rain
be
in
gross.
The forecast.
All I tell you is...
Feels like a Pats kind of game.
Yeah, the problem is that Jet defense is better than anything the Patriots have faced. So I'm leery. But you're having a big week.
Well, then maybe take the under.
You're
maybe
wearing
it's
a pink
another
t-shirt.
underplay.
You're excited. By the way, Evan, like how does one select that as your Friday look? Like who just goes, I'm wearing a pink t-shirt, no logo, no graphic. Where do you even buy a plain pink t-shirt?
I'm not going to plug them. They're not a sponsor.
We don't need a plug. I'm saying, what was the decision there? It's not like you walked in like James Dean and you're in a white or a black t-shirt.
Honestly, you know what it was? I'm flipping through the closet today, and I have all these great power hoodies and flannels, and it's still not cold enough. It's like 78 degrees in Detroit.
Truth.
I'm waiting to get into the fall catalog, and I'm like, what's left?
Truth.
This is what's left. This is a
Truth.
fine enough t-shirt, but I'm ready to get into the fall.
You're playing the Patriots, aren't you?
I'm playing the Pats.
Rock and roll. I want no part of this garbage.
Now, this next one, you got to help me because we reference a sheet, a living doc.
Yeah.
This is Bills Commanders, Bills minus 6.5.
Oh, shit.
And I have Sam Howell actually looks good all right, pass. Those are like some of my notes, the rest of which has been deleted. Can you explain what took place here? Like what happened here?
So people, here's the deal. If you haven't listened to the college football episode from yesterday, and I mean this, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. It is bar none my favorite episode Jim and I have done in the year plus of doing the pod. On the episode, Jim live, Marshall VTech, I see a paragraph. It's like the New Testament with lines drawn all through it. And I go, wow, how'd you do that on the document? Because it's not like you take out a marker. He goes, that's a squiggly doo-dah, action 7. What was it called?
Shift Alt 5. You just strike through for people using Google Docs.
So we're sitting here today, and I'm talking to you, and you go, yeah, on a MacBook, you go Command Option do-do-do.
X button, whatever.
So I do it, and I must have been distracted because now I'm talking to you. So now we scroll down to the sheet.
Did you delete it?
There's no lines. I must have just deleted like 90% of it. So your Bills minus 6.5 handicap is M. Sam Howell actually looks good, all right. Pass.
That's our analysis. Can we be a little more nuanced? What did you want to do here?
I originally wanted to bet the Bills because there's a power stat out there about, Josh Allen when he wins by more than 7. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, as the week has gone along, you're seeing the ticket splits and the money change. And you're also, I have to stick to how I am. I can't change what I do, even though I had a horrific week. I'm not the guy that lays 6.5 points on the road in the National Football League. So I did a Control-Alt-7 do-da-da, deleted 80% of the handicapping work, so I apologize to you. And I'm passing on the game. I'm starting to wonder if the Commanders are actually good.
Eight wins a year ago, Chase Young healthy. That was in the little thing that got deleted.
He played well.
Sack and a half, right? So their D-line was already great. He comes in on the edge.
And with the cap.
And as you know, Sam Howell looks all right, ? Pass. I stayed away from this one because I do think the Commanders are decent.
And the Bills have a propensity to fuck around.
Yeah.
So I passed on it. Is this a game in the 1 o'clock window? Bills get up 7-0 and they flash, Commanders getting 9.5 or something live.
Yeah.
Could I dip in? I would need north of 7, preferably north, 8 is the new 7.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't take the 6.5. But I actually went all the way to the other side and go, you know what? This is Commanders or pass. In a world where I didn't sink to the bottom of the ocean last week and wear a toilet seat as a hat, I think I would actually end up betting the Commanders. But I can't bring myself to it quite yet.
The stat with Allen was 75% of his wins are more than a touchdown, I think. Again, we can't check. It was deleted in the strike-through effort.
Sam Howell actually good, all right, question mark pass.
Beep boop. All right, let's go to the next game. I'm not playing it. You're not playing it.
What are you talking about?
No, the game we just did. The next one, Jags, Texans, division matchup. Jags minus 9.5 against the Texans.
Number moving, kids.
Okay.
Hey, you know what this is. Ertz on the Jags. You know we're a Jaguars pod. Trevor Lawrence hasn't been great. Offensively, I mean, last week, how many times were the Chiefs going to invite you to the red zone? You didn't perform. Texans, missing 3 linemen last week. I did a bad job on the cap. I should have evaded. I should have delete 12
Well, the Tunsil thing was later in the week.
I know, and when we taped, he was ready.
They were out with 4 offensive linemen. Now, Tunsil's back this week.
Yes, and you may get one of the other cats back, too. My point is, Stroud has been the best rookie. It's the Texans at home. That was a dead cat bounce last week.
No, this game is in Jacksonville.
Oh, I'm sorry. Last week they were at home, and look, Richardson getting hurt for the Colts actually hurt our bet. I mean that. Gardner Minshew comes in and completes 13 of 15.
More on him in a second.
Are the Jaguars really qualified to lay 9.5 points in a divisional game? Do you know what Trevor Lawrence's record is as a favorite?
Tell me.
0-4.
Do you know what Jacksonville as a home favorite is? 0-7 in their last 7.
And for that reason, I have to take, and now I'm looking at 9 flat across the board.
Okay.
9 flat.
Okay,
it doesn't
be fair.
matter. I would take this north of 8.5.
Okay. And that was 0-7 against the spread, which is all that matters for us.
I just don't, we have to automatically play the Texans.
It's the side.
Join me. Show your confidence in me and join me.
Will you join me in the next one? Because there's some big spreads this week in the NFL. And I want to bet another AFC South team. I will join you if you will join me.
What do I have to join you on?
Colts, Ravens.
Oh, no. Okay.
Let me make the case. And we'll kind of tie these 2 games together.
I know what you're doing, Mike. It's the 8.5. It's who you are. It's Minshew, not Richardson. The Ravens are all kinds of banged up.
It's too many points for them to be laying.
This is who you are. All right, fuck it. Okay.
So we go AFC South double dip.
Oh, my God.
2 teams that aren't good, but they're getting north of a touchdown.
This is so bad. Okay. No, and here's...
Now, we are taking 2 teams going on the road.
Jim?
Mike?
We are famous for betting the teams nobody wants to bet.
Look, nobody's betting the Colts.
That means we have to.
And I don't know that anybody's betting the Texans either.
We have to.
Yeah. The public's on the other side both games.
You'll go with Texans if I go with Colts?
Yes.
All right. Now, as far as the Ravens go, let's just spend a minute on this.
Okay.
They're down to their 5th string running back. Gus Edwards is a tomato can. Justice Hill's out. Dobbins dead for the year. Defensively, they're banged up all over the place. And with Gardner Minshew playing, right? We're sure Minshew's playing?
Last I read this morning, it doesn't look good for Richardson.
Right. Okay, so you're getting the veteran presence. You're going to get a guy who's the best backup QB in the league. He'll be professional. He'll complete a bunch of passes.
Keep minute.
Just be down by 14 with a possession with 2 minutes to go, and I get a chance to cover it. It's really what it comes down to. It's why you play this number. 8.5 is a powerful number in this league now. I got to do it. It's gross. I know it's gross. But guys, if we're going to do an exercise for the 4 p.m. window to maybe try to prove a point. If you think you can just go in and go, Chiefs are way better than the Bears, bet. Cowboys way better than the Cardinals, bet. Bills way better. If you go in and you bet all these big favorites, you will get annihilated in the NFL. Annihilated. The NFL is designed, and the reason it's so hard to win is you have to bet teams that on surface look unbettable. And this is one. All right, friendship bracelet.
All right.
I'll add it to the card, but you're adding the Texans.
Yep.
Oh, God. Please, not again. All right.
This next one, we're going to spend a lot of time locally with it.
What is it?
Lions, Falcons. And the more we talk about it,
the more I want to bet Atlanta.
Interesting. Okay, Lions -3, time of taping. It was a bigger number.
Yeah.
-3 hosting Desmond Ritter's Falcons.
So let's paint the scenario here. First of all, locally here in Detroit, I laugh because people are just shitting all over Desmond Ridder. Now, I do understand to a point, but he's a young player, second-round pick. He's made about 7 total starts. But they are taking that and using it that somehow Atlanta is awful. Well, hold on a minute. Atlanta has one of the 3 or 4 best ground attacks in the league. Arthur Smith, the Artie Party, he designed Tennessee's scheme that launched Derrick Henry's career. Arthur Smith is a savant. With Bijan and Algiers, Cordarrelle, they got Drake London out wide, Kyle Pitts. Okay, now defensively, people go, well, Atlanta's defense blows. Does it? Through the first 2 weeks of the season, they're a borderline top 10 run D. Now you're the Lions. And you go, all right, well, wait, Mike, you love the Lions. You said they're going to win the North. The injuries are fierce. We're sitting here on Friday, damn near, 12:10 here in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Decker may not play. You know, they're throwing up in the air out there. Well, I got news for you. Up in the air is he didn't practice yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You don't practice today, you're not playing. Vaitai, the starting right guard, he ain't playing.
Got hurt last week.
Okay. David Montgomery, the pace setter on offense, he is out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what you love to hear about the only legitimate receiver you have? Hey, he's got a steel toe in his shoe now to stabilize his toe, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But wait, there's more. James Houston, starting defensive end opposite Aiden Hutchinson. He's out. Kirby Joseph's going to be out. C.J. Gardner-Johnson out for the year.
Maybe the year.
Hey, he ain't going to play Sunday.
Not this week.
He ain't making Sunday service. Mosley, your best corner.
Out.
He's out. Jim,
Banged up is an understatement.
Yeah. Now, here's the problem. What I don't want to do off my toilet bowl last week is take the worst of the number and give people that. What I'm going to do in this game is I am going to have my phone out, logged in. If I can catch, now again, there's no way to make a pod play on this. But if I can catch a number close to the opening line of Atlanta with 5, God forbid it's 6.5 or 7. If I can get Atlanta plus 4.5, I'm probably going to bet it live. It reeks of a 24-21 game. I'm not taking 3 and offering people a push.
Full transparency. This was 3.5 a day ago. We were both going to play Atlanta 3.5.
And then I did a command control J-spot strike through.
And I want to be clear. I'm not turning into woe is me Lions fan from one loss. But I do think they overestimated their defensive line in terms of a pass rush component.
It's bad.
And they doubled and tripled down, didn't do anything in free agency or at the top of the draft, and that's going to be their cross to bear, especially when you're talking about using number 12 overall on a committee running back. Yikes. But the Lions have stopped the run each of the first 2 games this year and a majority of the games late last season, stopping Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones twice, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, the outliers, the Carolina game late in the year.
But for the most part, they've stopped the run, and that's Atlanta's whole deal. They're all in on running the ball. Bijan in the top 10 on a team that already ran the ball on a top 3 basis a year ago. They're all in on running. But if the Lions stop the run,
they'll win the game.
They win the game. But we get into north of a field goal, 3.5, 4, 4.5. I like the better kicker in Atlanta. I like Arthur Smith in the cover fest, the shorten of the game.
Here's the other thing that really makes the Lions hard to bet or bet against. Dan Campbell's all in on win probability and analytics. They're going to go for it 3, 4, 5 times.
Sure.
Now,
and I like that he does.
But if you don't get him, we saw it last week.
All of a sudden, 3 here, 3 there.
Or how many times when you bet the Lions laying 3.5, 3, and all of a sudden Dan Campbell's passing up chip shot field goals, you're going to pull your fucking hair out.
Right. I think they win, but I don't like, if it was 3.5 or more, I'd be betting Atlanta flat. 3 feels like there's no. Why is he all the way up there?
Who?
The cactus. I was going to do there's no value in this.
Well, you got to stand up. You got to go get him. You just go ahead. Jim is literally standing up on the smoking chairs. There you go. Hold on. Value. Good to see the cactus back. You know what's funny?
Who moved him?
We had an amazing episode yesterday. We never used the cactus. I was just having a good time when you bringing chicken Alfredo in here from a gas station.
Supermarket.
Listen, you know the other angle with this game? I wonder when you hyper-focus on stopping the run. You know, Atlanta tapped in a little bit to Ritter's mobility last week, including a fourth down score. It makes you wonder about some RPO.
And you know what else scares me? Again, we know the Lions.
Lions linebackers versus Kyle
Tight
Pitts.
ends. Well, it's not just Kyle Pitts. It's Jonnu Smith. They'll run 12 personnel. They'll run 13 personnel. They'll put 3 tight ends on the field.
Yeah, I don't.
What was the stat? Evan gave his stat. 14 targets to tight ends last week for Seattle.
10 catches.
14 catches. Every single one of them completed. Yeah.
I thought it was 10 for 137.
No.
Holy mercy.
Every target resulted in a catch. Lions linebackers still a progress.
I'll stay away. It was Atlanta when the number was bigger. I'll leave it alone.
Okay.
But I think it's one of the more fascinating games of the week on a national perspective.
Oh, yeah, I do
These
too.
are two teams a lot of people feel pretty good about being contenders in their respective divisions, being a pain in the ass to play against. It pains me, but I got to stay away from it.
I think it comes down to, I don't know if this is a good matchup or a bad matchup for the Lions.
You could. How about this?
Because you could tell me it's a good matchup for the Lions. They'll stop the run. It's the one thing they've done well. They'll win this game. You could also tell me it's a bad matchup because they're all beat up and it's a physical football team coming in that's going to throw to the tight ends.
The 2 games I took off the board are games I could make a viable case both ways.
Okay.
So Vikings, Chargers, Lions, Atlanta. I can make viable cases both ways. Therefore, what am I doing betting this game?
Don't bet toss-ups.
And you know what? I have to be a better man. That's the lesson.
Okay.
Carry on.
Personal growth.